Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P-Funk, thinking right out here in the lab. What I do what I do for you. This is part two of my Maat philosophy. The actions of a person living by Maat should know and practice. Okay, so let's get this party started. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. Message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receive them. We got a good thing going. I appreciate you. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment. Excuse me, aka know thyself. That's my mission, to get all right thinkers to know thyself. With the information I'm giving you, you tune in and practice it. You do just that. Know thyself. Let's go. That's my mission for you. Your goal for you to get it. You ready? Know thyself. I asked the question. It's rhetorical. But if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. All right thinkers should be able to answer that question in the affirmative. Okay? My job is to give you the information so that you can know just that yourself. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes or think that they know, dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinker, know thyself. And to Mayat, be true. This is part two of the lesson I gave about the Mayat and Butu philosophy. Now let's break down what right thinkers. I changed the title. Right, let's talk about the actions of a person living by Mayat should include. I just said right thinkers. This the action of a person practicing right thinking need to know. If you practice right thinking, you're practicing Mayat philosophy. So let's go. First one reads. Now I'm a butcher a lot of this Egyptian stuff, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. Read it to you in Egyptian, then break it down for you, and then give you a little quotation underneath. Action of a person living by Maya philosophy. Women, I don't teach male lessons. I teach duality lessons, male and female. I teach you how two opposites have to come together. So we need women to become knowledgeable of themselves too. It's not a man thing. That's my point. Okay, we'll get that out the way. Disclosure. And another one, donations. If you feel like donating to Right Thinking Philosophy, hit me up in the inbox. I get the information. I ain't big on that, but I was told I got to start doing that, so I'm doing it. Let's go. Nuk Udi Mayat. That means give righteousness, order, and truth to who? Humanity. That's what I do for you every day. Mayat is the ancient art of what? Ethical conduct. Righteous living, virtuous and true actions. Aspirants need to learn to think and act with honesty. This is what we teach. Honesty, integrity, and truthfulness to promote what? Positive self-development, aka spiritual development, which will what? Will translate into what? The becoming a reliable and responsible leader and member of society. Just a good person. How about that? If all of us practice that, I'm just saying, and that's how they lived in ancient Egypt. Everybody practiced the philosophy. They didn't criticize it. They just practiced it. Why? Because it worked. Moving on. Next one is Nu Adu Ta in Heka Hiker Nu Adu Nu in App. This means give food to the hungry. Okay. Give water to the thirsty. Again, helping those who are in need of something, be it food or water. Working to eradicate hunger, watch this, and thirst, where? In our community. And also, world hunger should be what? A primary goal of a person living, right? Think philosophy by Maat. Hunger prevents humanity from what? Achieving its higher goal, which is what? Peace and harmony amongst the people. But if you got the upper class, suburbanites, who got it made, you got the ones out here suffering, the hood, or, the less, low income, less fortunate, that disparity between have and don't have is getting wider. Moving on. But at the ancient times, there was not that problem. France had that problem. What happened? Revolution. When the poor man get tired of seeing the rich man flaunt his riches, he's going to react a little different. Again, if you have and somebody else don't, you should be willing to share to help them out. That's ego. Moving on, but that's the concept. Maat don't teach that. It teaches sharing. And hunger, watch this. Hunger is a source of what? Suffering. We got people now don't have food. And early death, watch this, for what? Millions of people around the world die from hunger, starvation. Sharing food and drink are primary ways of showing compassion and what? Promoting care between human beings and societies. This promotes what? Peace, and it prevents conflicts. Homeless people, beggars on the street. You riding down the street, pull up to the light, here come one of you guys begging. So, see what I'm saying? You can't provide for all those who are less fortunate. Somebody should make way for them. That's what society is supposed to do. But moving on, you have your own choice to make. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. But I don't make it a point because their situation, we don't know. So moving on. But if you have, if it don't hurt you to give, give. If you ain't got it, it's understood. That's all. Moving on. R-D, het, and het. Now I know het means house. Okay, a few words I can pick up on. But it says, give shelter to the homeless. I ain't saying going out bring people home, and that ain't what I'm saying. But they try to show you as society, look out for the homeless. We got that problem in every city, got homeless place where people just tit up and do what they got to do on the streets. Working to provide what? Homes for who? The homeless, and alleviating what? The homeless situation in society should be what? A priority. And the politicians and the council, when they want that job, they promise you they're going to take care of that. And when they get it, they don't do nothing. So the problem still persists to this day. And it should be a priority for who? A person living by Maat. I guess the politicians don't practice Maat philosophy. But because, why? All human beings require what? A proper place to dwell. So that what? They can live well, or at least comfortable lives. It ain't good in the cold. You got to find some way to, huddle up. That ain't good. And lack of shelter, what happened? Gives rise to what? Discomfort. And discomfort leads to what? Strife. Strife means you're going to start doing anything to survive. Rob, steal, kill, to get what? What you think you need. We shouldn't be in that predicament, man. Moving on. Sorry about that. I'm going to get up my soapbox. All right. But if you're a good person, these are things you got to deal with every day because they're in our life right now. All you can do is the best you could, but when you could, and how you could. That's all. That's how I look at it. Nope. All I do, sir, and how. Give comfort to the weepers, suffering, disheartened. If somebody's in need, and I have it, they will get it. If a friend is in need, a friend should be indeed what? To help them out. Pain and suffering are all too prevalent where in human life we all go through it. One of the concerns of a person living right thinking philosophy, aka by Maat, should be what? To promote, you ready? Compassion, consolation to people who are what? Suffering due to any reason, and to promote immediate psychological support refuge, moral support for those who are in need. When I was coming up, we had mental institutions for those who sometimes go a little too far. Back then, we just called it nervous breakdown. He working too hard, he just had a breakdown. But when you are in need of psychological help, counseling, sometimes medication, they kept the medication going, but they stopped the counseling. I'm just saying. So a lot of people are in need of psychological help. We don't know that's a mental illness, and we ain't addressing that situation, and they wonder why it get perpetrated. I see it. I understand it. That's part of life. Next one is Nup Adu Netu Genu Kur Net Hatu. This means give protection to the weak from the strong. Stop the bullies. I hear people committing suicide for somebody bullying them on a computer. Are you kidding me? Where I come from, sticks and stones will break my bones. Words will never hurt you. Get over that, young people. Don't even come. I can't even conceive taking your life because somebody else is talking about you. Really? How far we fallen. Watch this. When you give protection to the weak, parents, we supposed to protect our kids. If somebody bullying them, you need to handle that. That's all. Moving on. But watch this. So doing that, one of the main concerns of a person living by Maat, right thinkers, should be what? Social justice and the protection of what? The weaker members of society who are what? Victims of crimes or who has less able to what? Help themselves, defend themselves when confronted with other members of society who don't mean them good. Bullies. People who take advantage. Sheep and wolf clothing, what do you want to call them? Those people who are not good people, that's what people got to protect them from them. If you see a man beating his wife, and if you don't interject, good Samaritan, you condoning him beating his wife. Moving on, I ain't getting involved. Domestic violence, what it says is protect one another. The weaker one, if it's a female being taken advantage of, protect her. Damn him. Okay, that's the whole part. The goal is to what? Assist people in need by what? Standing with them, protecting them, and hopefully providing moral, legal, or other assistance. So I'm going to say this. But this is a lifestyle that you got to practice this. I do. Again, that's where it comes from. Just breaking it down for you. Moving on. Nup RD Rik Kamun. It means okay, give wisdom, counseling to who? The ignorant. I tell you all the time. I know if you don't know something, I can bring you out of not knowing to knowing with what? Knowledge of yourself. So you can what? Know thyself. So it fits. Going on. One of the main goals of right thinkers of a person living by Maat should be to what? You ready? Train others. Train others. Human beings in what? The precepts of Maat and raise, you ready? Leaders who will study the ancient philosophy and be what? Able to transmit it to who? Others. Again, as a sage, I want you to learn how to master yourself, and you be able to pick and choose. If you want to continue that by teaching others, fine. But first, get yours. Moving on. And where we at? To transmit it to others, in society, by growing and doing, being better. This will what? Promote the formation and growth of what? A well-informed segment of the population. I got 120,000 viewers. That ain't a whole bunch, but I got 120,000 who know more than what they knew before they tuned into me, more than one of those who didn't. So I'm doing my job trying to help those who want the help. Moving on. And the segment of the population, watch this, who will what? Be able to promote peace, justice, understanding, and more important, spiritual enlightenment. I want you to be knowledgeable of yourself. You are spiritual beings. Know that, understand that, and live with it. Next one's going to be a long one. Nup Adu Det and Non Det. It means give opportunity to the discouraged. If somebody's depressed, down and out, and not feeling good, pick them up, inspire, motivate them. Don't just talk about him. You know, my man, he just gave up. Really? So that's where we are. I'm not with that. Watch this. Having become wise from things I've done, my actions, again, through actions of my virtue and righteous living, teaching what my understanding of the ancient Maya philosophy, I tell you that, and assisting what others in immediate and long-term need, a person living by right thing philosophy, Maya, will what? Thereby eventually grow and be able to assist them to what? Become stronger and help themselves. Every human being needs to have what? That opportunity to what? Develop and discover the meaning of life so as to grow and develop to their full potential. We said whatever we can conceive, we can achieve. That's potential. If you conceive something and don't achieve it, whose fault is that? Moving on. That's the concept. So therefore, justice and equal opportunity are essential human concerns for all people. We taught that America, land of the free, home of the brave, all man created equal. Why we got racism? Why do we got this nonsense that we're dealing with? Moving on. I ain't in here to get on the soapbox, but there. With Maya philosophy, selfish service is an important aspect of what we do. Okay? And in chapter 33, 125 of the Book of the Dead, here the initiate states what? His or her qualifications. This you hold yourself to do. You have qualification to be allowed what? Into the inner shrine. Why? To see and become who? One with Asar, the Supreme Being. You, the initiate, states, watch this, that you helped those in need in various ways. This is one of the greatest and most secure methods of what? Purifying one's heart by becoming virtuous, doing good things, good deeds. Why? Because it makes one humble and it affects what? The ego. Humble puts the ego down. Brass and arrogance raise him up when you get real proud, all that nonsense. I know a brother, my dude, he's the most humblest brother I know. I'm learning how to be humble through him. Okay? It ain't required to know. You have to learn that. Understand? So, selfish service is a vast area of what? Spiritual practice. And that's what your pastors do. But I know they get paid, but they're supposed to be doing selfish service. And watch this. And in forms of what? It's a major part of the on the yogic path to what? Right action. It's an actual philosophy that you can live by. What? Promote it in your seat for yourself. Every human being needs to what? Understand the profound implications of what? Selfish service. Giving. In order to receive, you have to give first. If you want people who want before you give, you're never going to get it. Okay? And watch this. How to practice selfish service effectively in order to obtain spiritual enlightenment, social order, and harmony. Listen to your boy. That's how I live. That's why I can bring it to you daily for the last 5 years. Ain't nothing changed. Moving on. First, it must be understood what? That according to Maya philosophy, the Supreme Spirit, God and Goddess, manifest what? As all creation. Again. And it also presents in all human beings. It's present in us called life. Spirit. Soul. Whatever. Ba. Ka. Whatever it's called is there. This being, watch this. This being so, and you understand it, you must realize that what? That one is interacting in what? In, with, and through the Supreme Spirit in all your actions. I tell you, be God conscious. Why? I'm only going to do what I think is right in God's eyes. I'm not going to be sneaky, deceitful, cheating. No, none of that. Why? God's watching. And if I want to appease him and please him, I do what's right. I ain't got to worry about it. When Adam and Eve committed the wrong act, they knew they was guilty. Why? They hid. What do a person do when they do wrong? Go hide. Okay, I don't run and hide. I stand firm. And when you a supreme being, when you living through Him in all your actions, being God conscious, Christians prayed up, your speech and in thought. Again, I try to talk respectfully. I think right. My thoughts are good and positive. So I'm in a place within myself. That's inner engineering. You control all of that. How you come out your mouth, how it sounds, the verbal tone, up, down, sarcastic, good. All those things are in your control. Moving on. And since human interactions have a most profound influence on what? The human mind. They are the most powerful means of effecting a change in what? Your personality. However, always the however, if mishandled, here you go, they can be the most effective method of leading a human being to what? Psychological attachments and suffering as well. A person should understand this. Maat comes to him or her in a form of what? Human beings in need. Every circumstance you run across, it's going to see how you deal with it. Okay? So, as to give you, the aspirant, what? An opportunity to grow where? Spiritually. Through what? Selfless service. How much you willing to give? How often are you willing to give it? Okay? To be successful, there you go, in selfless service, what happens? You must be able to supplement what? You ready? The ego self. Through developing patience and dealing with difficult personalities without developing resentment, attitude, sarcasm, or disappointment in somebody not living up to what you think their standards are. It ain't up to you. You live up to your own standards. Let them find theirs and raise to their own level. You just help them. And not what? Taking attacks personally on their character. And developing what? You had to develop a keen understanding of what? Human nature. We are who we are. And human needs. Some of us have different needs, but human needs are the same for everybody. If you give the people what they want when they want it, they'll want it all the time. But if you give the people what they need when they need it, their needs will be just like yours and mine. Understand that? Selfless service allows you what? It allows a human being to what? Discover sentiments of what? Caring for what? Something greater than the little old me. I told you, put a pin right here. I told you I was the anti-pet person. No. It wasn't until I got a pet, by however means, okay, told the story. But now I got love for them pets. They're my kids. I talk to them, I respect them, I pet them, they love me. That's a whole other atmosphere that I had to acquire. I didn't have that. I acquired that. So these things you can learn. That's the purpose of practicing what? Living, doing, and being right. You're going to acquire some things. That's all. And watch this. Now, this what? Leads to what? Purity of the heart. For a few years, I was a crybaby. Man, every little thing, I'm at a drop of a thought. I'm crying. I said, what's with this crying nonsense? My pastor said, brother, right, that's the humility coming out. I get it, I understand it. I don't cry no more. Or like I used to. Watch this. That's purity of the heart coming from what? The gross fetish of anger, hatred, greed, lust, jealousy, envy, etc. When you carry the burden of these qualities in you, that's egoistic qualities, and that's going to make your heart heavy. You'll never pass the judgment test at the end of life, the great judgment that you have to have your heart light to pass the test. And watch this. It's also the attachment based on what? Blood relations and other folly relationships. For in order to serve, watch this, in the highest order, you must serve all what? Equally. You don't get to pick and choose who you want to. No. I don't pick and choose who I teach. Like I said, women, I ain't anti-women. I'm doing that for everybody. Okay, understand that. Equally. Without favorites. As a parent, you ain't supposed to have a favorite child. We all do. You some tell, some don't. But we all do. Why? Because it's how they make you feel about what they do that makes them the favorite. I got one. As a servant of humanity. One's family. What happens? As a servant of humanity, one family becomes what? All human beings and nature itself. When I spiritually connect with somebody, you become my spiritual sister or brother in Christ or in whatever you want to do. But yeah, we connected spiritually. I have no problem with that. Therefore, the cause of what? Environmental well-being is also what? A high concern reflected in the following injunctions of the Maat philosophy of the 42 confessions. And these are injunctions that what? Specifically address issues of what? Public or selfish service to the community through service to nature and the preservation of natural resources. Number 15 out of the 42, it states, I have not laid waste to plow lands. If you're going to plow the land, you ready to plant something. Don't waste it. 36, I have never defiled the water. It was against the law to pee in the Nile. Variant, it means I have not held back the waters or polluted the waters, okay, that flow in due season. Right, thinkers? I think I'm going to do one more thing right here. I got to get this in. Give me a few more minutes. Like my pastor said, stay with me. I know where I'm going. Right quick. Now, this is what right thinkers have to understand. The higher advanced and lofty teachings from right thinking philosophy, Maat philosophy, of becoming what? One with who? The Supreme Being. How? Through righteous action, and is further augmented. How? By the hymn to Maat, contained in the scriptures now referred to in the Berlin Papyrus below. This is written, they got it in the walls of the museum, like they got all our stuff in some museum somewhere. It says, Maat, Aku Maat. That means Maat is the source of life. We give all praise to Maat when we practice in her philosophy. Just like the Assyrian myth, Asar and Ra gets building. Here, Maat gets top building. Watch. Maat Nebutin. Maat is in everywhere you are. Cha Hena Maat. It means rise in the morning with Maat. Ankh Hena Maat. Again, it says live with Maat. Ha Sema Maat. Let every limb join with Maat. In essence, let her guide your actions. Let your conscience be your guide. Maat, her 10. Maat is who you are deep down. In essence, your true identity is one with the divine, aka Maat. The last one, Dua. Now, as a Mason, in 1 degrees in the red house, it's called the sign of astonishment. It's really called Dua. Okay, the ancients did that. That's the sign for an adoration to the goddess Maat, who is what? In everywhere you are. We are all Maat. Maat is all of us. In closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100 and me 100 minus today. So I never know that right thinkers like you have passed away. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I got more.